I got to ask you a question about Sonny Kiss because AEW is all about this whole woke thing and like, oh, representation and we have black people and we have Asian people and transgender. See, to me, that doesn't fucking matter. Uh, but the question I've got about Sonny Kiss is, why do you think he was actually hired? Because to me, it just seems like they wanted this. What's the word? Diversity quota, and of course,
Right.
that's not you saying that. That's me.
Right.
But I think he was hired specifically so they can say we have a gay black man on our roster because they're doing nothing with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know what their intentions were. We all can assume that they, yeah, they can say that it's inclusive, it's for everyone. Wrestling is really not for everyone, and what I mean by that is that it's very select. Wrestling is very tribal. You got to be into wrestling. Listen, I have four brothers. Two brothers are into wrestling. The other two could give a shit, and we all grew up in the same house together. So it isn't. It's for everyone if you like wrestling. It's not. That whole thing of. And listen, since the beginning of time, there have been people who are homosexual, heterosexual, different sexual persuasions, bisexual. Now it's more open and out there than it used to be because everyone used to kind of hide in plain sight because they were afraid of the repercussions they would get from the general public, which is fair. I mean, the 70s and 80s were kind of rough on stuff like that. I mean, listen, I'm 51 years old. I've been around. I could tell, like you said, I tell it like it is, so I'll tell it like it is that way. People felt like they couldn't be out and be themselves back in the day, and gay characters were portrayed by straight men. Adorable Adrian Adonis, Adrian Street. They were straight heterosexual men, and they portrayed. And people kind of knew that it was kind of an act, but I don't know if it really would have mattered because there's been gay wrestlers over the years. Pat Patterson, everybody knows about Pat for many, many years. Again, I'm not sure that saying, hey, we hired a gay there have been gay wrestlers hired before in the past. Remember Darren Young, of course, in the WWE. And before him, well before him, Orlando Jordan was openly homosexual. Again, I just shake my head, and it's about if the guys deserve to be there. It's not about what their sexual persuasion is or their nationality or race. If they can entertain and they can put asses in seats and get people to get up off their hands and get into the show and buy the product, that's what it's about, man. And if you can do that, then you should get a gig. You should never get a gig on anything other than based on talent. And if you could be a star for them, drawing power, just like in the major leagues, they don't call up guys to fit a racial diversity thing. Like, oh, we don't have enough Italian guys on the roster. I would hope that that's not what goes on. I'm not naive enough to think that it might not. But you got to bring up, just like ball players, when you call up someone from AAA, it's a guy who's ready to go to the big leagues. And I think AEW brought up guys, and I don't know if Sonny Kiss is ready or not, but you're right, they're not doing much with him. I've seen him twice since the show has been on the air, and they've both been on Dark, WWE, AEW Dark, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, people earn their positions by talent and if they deserve to be there, not by anything other than that, by skills.
Yeah, 'cause I interviewed this guy from the UK. You may or may not
Mhm.
know him. He's called Kenny McIntosh. He's a promoter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard of him. Okay.
And he's an openly gay man. And he said that he finds the Sonny Kiss thing actually kind of insulting because it's like, so because he's gay, he's insanely camp and he fucking does dance routines. Like, gay people
Right.
don't do that. They're just, they're like, well, I was going to say Freddie Mercury, but he was incredibly gay.
Yeah, I mean, again, the whole was it the twerking or whatever. That's not indicative of how people act of any persuasion. That's an indicative of an individual, not representing a whole. The whole gay community. That would be unfair. I agree with you. I work in the nightclub business, so I work with a lot of people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual for years and years, since 1993. So again, I'm an older man. I've been around. I'm not naive to the world. But again, I think it's what someone's view of what other people need to see. They're projecting onto other people. And again, when you get a job, just like we hire a sound tech in the club, it's someone who's got the skills. It's not, oh, this guy looks good and he's a good-looking guy, let's hire him. I don't. That doesn't make sense to me because again, that'll falter real quick if you don't have the skill set to be in the majors, so to speak. The AEW is supposed to be the majors, right? So they shouldn't have indie guys who are not ready for prime time. We've talked about this a lot on Don Tony Kevin Castle show. of people who are just not ready to be on television, and AEW's got a lot of them.